Okay. Okay, guys, I want to talk about wealth building today. And I figured there was no better way to speak about wealth building than from the pioneer of Keller Williams, Gary Keller, who wrote this curriculum called Quantum Leap. Okay. And I'm sharing my screen right now. Can everyone see that? All right, all you guys are on mute. Can everyone see the screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, beautiful. What's up, Trent?
Hey, what's going on?
All right, I'm going to read you a couple things, and then we're going to have a conversation around this stuff. So just very, very quickly, you guys saw that this was a class around building wealth. I want to, you don't have to answer this right now, but I want you to know that if you look on the daily success list, it has a quote. Does anyone know what that quote says? Does anyone know what that quote says? It says, all right, hang on, I'm going to show it to you guys. It's really important that we internalize this, okay? The daily success tracker, there's a quote on there, and I put it on there intentionally because I intended for that to be, kind of your daily journal, right? The piece of paper that's in front of you all the time. It says, everything worthwhile is uphill, and no one accidentally goes uphill. Okay. Now, what I mean by that is to say that particularly with wealth building, you're going to have a ton of intentionality. Okay. A ton of intentionality. And the idea behind that is they don't teach you this stuff. Why can't I? Hang on. There we go. Unfortunately, they don't teach you this stuff in school. Okay, they don't teach you how to build wealth. They don't teach you how to protect your wealth. They don't teach you to put smart people around you that can guide you and help prevent mistakes and these kind of things. So what I've found is that you got to study money if you intend to be wealthy, right? Is that fair? That means you're going to have to spend time on it, right? It's not going to automatically fall into your lap. And for those where it does, like lottery winners or something like that, there's some pretty outrageous statistics that essentially say that they're broke almost right away and their lives are, go downhill from the beginning. Okay, so I'm just going to read you a couple of things real fast, and we're going to get into some theory here. Okay, a financially wealthy person is someone who has accumulated the wealth that delivers the unearned or passive income necessary to become self-actualized and achieve their primary life mission. Okay, so that begs a couple of questions. Do you have a life mission? Right? Do you have a lifestyle that you're attempting to create? So for example, do you know how much money is required to maintain that lifestyle? Right? Do you want to go visit the grandkids? Do you want to, have great insurance? Do you want to be able to join a country club? Do you want to be able to travel whenever you feel like it? Do you want to stress about whether gas is $2 or $2.50 a gallon? Right? What type of lifestyle are we trying to achieve? And then we set a plan to go achieve it. Makes sense? So it's not unlike your sales business. It's what are my goals? What are my intentional actions that I'm going to take to learn this stuff, to practice this stuff, to surround myself with smart people, and then take action. Okay. Wealth is a state of mind. Truth. The most common mistake we make in our lives is looking outside of ourselves for what we should find inside. The greater truth is success is no exception. Just as the source of true happiness lies within each of us, success also comes from within. Success is the result of a very specific mental attitude. Call it what you like, the mentality of the rich, an attitude of success, or the prosperity consciousness. Financial wealth is the outward manifestation of an inner focus. It is a result of steering thoughts towards a specific financial target. Genuine wealth is above all a state of mind, a mental state that has taken physical form in the lives of the wealthy. You must begin by being rich and wealthy in your mind before you can become financially rich and wealthy in life. Okay. I love these 6 truths about money. The key to happiness is not more money. Happiness is happiness, and money is money. Have any guys seen this before? Whatever your life is about, more money will just amplify it. Money won't change you, it will expose you. Okay. Lifestyle is style over amount, and style is an art, your personal art of living. You can't buy style with money. You can't buy good taste or good decisions with money. You can only buy more with more money. The life quest is to have the best life in the time available to us. It's not the amount, it's the value. Money doesn't buy value as it pertains to the best life possible. Money will come to you when you are doing the right things. Money has its own rules and disciplines, and if you don't learn them, you are basically financially illiterate. Okay. Any thoughts so far? A lot of people have hangups around money. Sometimes people are afraid of failure, but interestingly enough, sometimes people are afraid of success, right? They might have a story of their life where maybe their family came into money and that caused family issues. You know, maybe you don't know a whole lot of about money, and so you're scared to have it, right? There's a lot of hangups people have sometimes around money, and my suggestion is we got to learn about it so that we can create independence around it. Okay, I'm gonna read you a couple of these notes too. Okay, the myth, a personal myth, is I don't need to be an investor. My job will take care of my financial wealth. Truth. Yes, you do need to be an investor. Your job is not your financial wealth. Myth. I do not want or need to be financially wealthy. I'm happy with what I have. The truth. You need to open your eyes. You do need and want to be financially wealthy. You guys know how expensive it is to take care of somebody 24/7 as an elder? The last 2 or 3 years of my wife's grandmother's life, she needed 24/7 supervision. She needed somebody to help her go to the bathroom. She needed somebody to help her get dressed. She needed somebody to help her take the medicine properly. She needed somebody to help her get out of bed in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. Do you know how much that cost? It was like $220,000 to $230,000 a year. Do you know how much it costs to be in an assisted living facility? $6,000 to $7,000 a month. I'm not trying to make anyone feel guilty here, but you have a chance to pay for that and give your family whatever they need, right? It's up to us to build wealth so that we can take care of the people we want to take care of. Okay. It doesn't matter if I want or need it. I just can't do it. That's a myth. Truth. You can't predict what you can or can't do until you try. Okay. These are 5 investing myths. Investing is complicated. Truth. Investing is only as complicated as you make it. Guys, in today's age, we can go watch a video on life insurance, or watch a video on ETFs, or watch a video on stock investing or whatever. In 2 seconds, we can learn more than we understand, than we currently know. Okay. The best investments require knowledge and most people don't have. Truth. Your best investments will always be in areas you can or already understand. Guys know what you guys are pretty good at? Come on. This one's an easy one. What are you guys already good at that's a potential investment?
Real estate.
Yeah, good job. Good job. 75% of our country's wealth is tied up in real estate, guys. Do you find that that's a coincidence? Nope. Okay. Myth, investing is risky, I'll lose my money. Truth, investing by definition is not risky, right? You learn about what you're investing in, you evaluate the risks, and you evaluate the rewards, and you make a sophisticated choice that's well researched. Myth, successful investors are able to time the market. Number four, truth, in successful investing, the timing finds you, right? What if somebody came to you today and said, hey, you got an opportunity to invest in the Roswell Keller Williams Market Center. I'll need 50 grand before the end of the day. Is that something you could pull off? What if somebody came to you and said, hey, I got a piece of technology that if you give me 3 grand in the next hour, it'll make you 6 grand by the end of the week, but I need it in the next hour. It's got to be yours. Could you make that happen? Right? There will, if you put yourself around if you grow your network and you put yourself around successful, influential people, opportunities will come to you, but you got to have the capital to deal with it. Make sense? All the good investments are taken. The truth is every market has its share of good investments. Okay. I want to skip to this slide right here. Okay. Goal. Let's say that we've determined that our financial goal, that our lifestyle is going to require $100,000 a year in passive income. So we've got whatever investments we've got, and it's spitting out $100,000 a year. Does anyone know roughly how much money you need in order to get $100,000 a year in the bank or in some type of investment? It's right on the page. $2.5 million. $2.5 million at 4% will give you $100,000 a year. Okay, so let's do some math. If you make $100,000, you're going to pay 30 in income taxes. So now you're left with 70. You're going to live on 40, which is really difficult to do. And you're going to invest the other 30, let's say. Okay, if you do that for 10 years, you'll have 300 grand. If you do that for 80 years, you'll have $2.4 million. We're not going to be working for 80 years. So you might say, how do I fix that? Well, you're going to have to earn more money. So let's say you earn enough to invest 60 a year, and you multiply that by 40 years, that's $2.4 million. Now you've got enough to spit off the $100,000 passively. Or you make enough to invest for $240,000 a year, 10 years, then you have it. What's your aha here? Guys, you're not going to save your way to wealth. Do you know how much money they've printed in the last 2 years? Right? Everyone's talking about inflation coming. Y'all with me? I don't see anybody but
Yes.
Donna. All right, what's your aha here, guys?
Need to start investing in the right stuff.
And we need to take advantage of opportunities that come up. You know, you and I had this conversation just, I think, last week, when we run into an opportunity that we need to kind of think of it, of whether it's something that we want to take advantage of first before offering it to one of our clients.
That's exactly right. Now, outside of well, you guys have both said great kind of second phase stuff. What are some of your other ahas? And then I'll get back to, I want to make an additional point. What else have you learned today?
I mean, with me, myself being responsible for my own personal income, what I'm going to bring in, I had a pretty short-sighted goal, and I'm going to need to go ahead and step it up if I'm going to be able to reduce the time before it's time to retire.
Are you comfortable sharing what your goal was?
Yeah. So I wanted to net gross 240 to then bring in about 1.5.
Okay. And just out of curiosity, why do you think that's short-sighted?
I mean, I'm already in my 40s, so I'm not trying to go for another 20. So if my time limit is probably 10 to 15 years, then I'm going to need to step it up.
Okay. That's the point I wanted to make, is that all this hinges on the income that you make, right? If you don't make any income, you can't make any investments, right? If you don't make any income, or let me rephrase that, if you don't make enough income to support your lifestyle or your desired lifestyle, you won't have any money to invest, right? So for example, Chris, you could make, let's say, instead of making 240, so you can net 150, what if you made 290, you netted 190, and then you used the extra 50 grand and you went and bought an investment property?
Exactly.
Right? What if you did that the next year too? And then the next year too? And then the next year too? And every year, or maybe every other year, your goal was to buy income producing property that would spit off, I don't know, let's say $400 or $500 a month. Now we're starting to build some passive income. Let me tell you what's a little easier than that
What's that?
and a lot less expensive, is make it a point to get into conversations around Keller Williams with other people. If you bring a capper or somebody who will eventually cap to the Roswell office, on average, you're going to see around $2,500 a year simply from being their sponsor through our profit sharing system. Okay. So if you were to bring somebody that's a half capper, let's say they sell 3 or 4 homes a year, you're going to make over $1,000 a year simply from being their sponsor. Okay. And Keller Williams takes care of them, right? They get into coaching, they get trained, they go to Ignite, they go to Bold, their life changes. They've got all these people they're working with. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the shortcut. Keller Williams offers a pretty significant shortcut. What else have we identified here? We didn't really talk about. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I think we, which I've kind of come to realize as well too, is that, inflation is going to go up. And at the end of the day, you have to figure out how do you plan to, you have to plan for the future with knowing the fact that inflation is going to go up, and go ahead and get your investments in order now before it's too late.
Right. Right. You guys should be looking into things like life insurance, right? If you don't already have it, please tell me you have it. Okay. There are wealth building strategies that are out there for anybody that wants them, but you know what they're going to want is some money, right? So the more money you have and the more educated you are, the more sophisticated of decisions you can make so that you can build wealth for your family. Make sense? All right, let me see if this one slide is in here really fast. Okay, let me show you. Can you guys see this? It's a little faint. Can you guys see this okay?
Yeah.
We can see it.
Okay, if you invested $100 every month, we'll use line 1 real fast. If you did it at 0%, which is basically what you could get in the bank, you have $1,200 bucks. 2%, 4%. I think let's look at 10%. You'd have $1,267 at the end of year 1. Okay. If you did that for 5 years, now we're talking about $9,800, almost $9,900. If you did that for 30 years, you'd have $227,000. Okay. The problem with that is that we might look at that number and say, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. But the problem is it's actually not that much money, right? Because first of all, you hopefully you're putting it away in something like a Roth IRA, so you're taking your gains tax-free, right? Rather than a 401k, where the tax rate, newsflash, the tax rate in 50 years is going to be more than it is today. Okay, and hopefully you'll be earning more than in 50 years than you are earning today, or 30 years, let's say. If you retire and you have only $228,000 in the bank and that's your only source of income, hopefully Social Security and the rest of that stuff will be around, but I doubt it will be, right? That's going to spit out $9,100 a year in passive income for you. Is there anybody who desires to live off of $9,100 a year?
It's not even possible. It's not even possible. Never mind desire.
Well, the thing is most people will never retire. Most people today will not retire, right? What is it? 60% of Americans can't afford a $400 emergency. They have net worths of less than $10,000. It's not even enough money to put you in the ground. What's your aha here, guys?
So we need to think about the future and start now.
Yeah,
Plan appropriately.
that's right. And the thing that will relieve the stress is more money, right? More income. Income isn't everything, but gosh, if you don't have income, then you don't have any choices. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There are people who will make, you know, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month in profit share, for example. Right? That's the equivalent of having saved over $2 million in the bank. Well, how did that happen? The average person's going to be lucky to save 10% of their income. So that means they would have had to earn $20 million in order to save two. But can't forget about taxes. So now they've made $40 million to pay half of it away in taxes, to have 20 to save 10%, which gives them two, which will spit out the $5 or $6 grand a month. You follow that? We're not going to save our way to wealth. We need to look for passive income strategies. Okay.
A quick clarification on the aha moment that you're talking about. The 9,100 a year that you're talking about, was that adjusted for inflation, or is that actually going to feel like 91 cents 25 years from now?
It's not adjusted for inflation, meaning
So it's less.
we were looking at 10%. Inflation's probably going to be at least, I would say, 4 to 5%, maybe more. Typically, historically, it's more like 3%, right? And so it would just be $9,100, and that'll buy you whatever $9,100 buys you whenever you happen to need it.
Absolutely. No, so I mean, the big aha what
Right.
you're asking for is like, understand you can't save your way to, future needs. But I was just thinking, wow, that number you threw out, that's even not as good as, it's not that great to begin with, but it's even worse than that.
You're right. You're 100% right. So the only way to let's actually identify what is the first step to doing anything about what we've talked about today. What's the first step?
I'm jumping on this call and talking about it with others.
Identifying your goals.
I think that's exactly right. I think both of you are exactly right. I'm going to post this in the announcements page so everyone can see it. The slides we've been talking about are around page like 135 or so and to the end. I cannot stress enough to you guys that we've got to become financially literate. as soon as we humanly possibly can. Okay, because let me tell you something, nobody cares more than you about your financial future, right? You should be learning about money every day so you can make sophisticated decisions, so you can accumulate it, so you can save it, so you can protect it, right? The truth of the matter is if you can't live off of that, your passive income, you're not going to be able to rely only on passive income. You're going to have active income, which means you're going to be working, right? And we're going to be working forever, right? So anytime that you set goals, you should look to see, well, how much profit does my business need to take in order to take a step forward in my financial goals, right? Does that make sense? We've got to have money for investing. Many of us don't have, I don't think the case that this is the case with the three of you guys, but many of us are living paycheck to paycheck, right? We can't think about investing because we can't even think about, we're stressed about all the little stuff. So I'm going to encourage everyone to really give some serious thought to, on a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you understand investing in money? Okay.
And hey, Bill.
Yeah.
You know, me and you talked before, you know, I'm into the financial education. So I'm definitely, you know, willing to do a workshop or anything for anybody that's interested. I know I have my money into avenues where it's gaining 7% compounded interest, and it can go up to 25%. So definitely, you know, willing to share the knowledge that I have in regards to that.
Thank you. I do like that idea, and I would love it if you and I can talk offline. Just send me a WhatsApp today, and maybe we'll put something on the calendar for the next couple of weeks to offer that to our group. Because look, and thank you again for that. At the end of the day, somebody's going to have to like grab you by the arm and say, shake you and say, you better learn about this stuff, or you're going to be reliant on somebody else the rest of your life. You're going to hope and pray that Social Security is around. You're going to hope and pray the tax rate doesn't go up too high. Right? All right. What other thoughts or questions do we have?
Well, I should be on the call instead of just creeping on it outside your office. So I don't know if I heard all of it, but I heard a lot of it. So the other aha would be the clients need to know, like, we're not just supposed to be investing. Our clients who are in a friend's family, they're not supposed to be saving their way to retirement either. I mean, they need bigger, better game plan.
I actually wasn't going to go in that direction, but I think that's brilliant. I'm glad you brought that up. That's brilliant. We are their advisor for the largest asset they probably will ever own until they buy a bigger house, right? And if our mission, which I believe many of us have this mission, is to help our clients build wealth through real estate, that requires a few things. Number one is we better understand wealth ourselves, and we better understand money ourselves. God forbid our client asked us a question about, you know, a basic concept question, and we are clueless. How are you supposed to help somebody else build wealth if you don't even know yourself? Right? And then the next thing to do is I would, for those, look, Markia and Justin, you could probably, and Donna could attest to this, is many times, especially when you're working with a first-time home buyer, buying is one of the first things they do that's like adulty, right? Many times they don't have a will, they don't have disability insurance, they don't have life insurance, they've got barely any money saved, or most of it just went to the closing cost or the down payment, right? So sometimes it's up to us, I believe, to at least plant the seed to say, hey, you're a property owner now. So I'm going to recommend, I don't get paid any more for any of this stuff, but I'm going to recommend that you add a couple of new people to your world. One is a insurance broker. One is a tax advisor. right? One is a financial planner of some sort, right? You definitely need a will in place. You need some life insurance, right? So if these are things that now that you've accumulated an asset, we need to talk about how you're going to protect the asset. Because listen, the purpose of the Marquia Smith Real Estate Organization is to help you build wealth. So I'm not just here to pick up a little commission check and move on with life. I'm here to be your helper so that you can build wealth. And that most likely will include investment properties and other things. And I'd like to introduce you to anyone that you need an introduction to. Would that be helpful? Oh my gosh, you do that for me, Bill? I would. I've already been paid, but that has nothing to do with it. My mission is to help you build wealth. Okay, so you just did step one. We need to walk you through the rest. Justin, great thought there. Great thought. Any other closing comments? So what do we do when we've identified that something is important to us? Donna, it looks like you know the answer. Go ahead and spit it out.
I was gonna say we have to learn about it and we have to take action.
Before that, what happens? What do we do right before that? Okay, I'll give it to you.
Tell somebody so they hold you accountable.
Well, that too, that's a great idea. You also need to write it down somewhere, right? It should go on your growth plan. It should go on your GPS, or maybe you build a new GPS around specifically this goal, right? Remember, any goal you have, you can build a GPS around, right? What will I do in an intentional action-based way to learn about money this month, right? Say, hey, Bill, what book should I read? Go buy a book. Or come in here and borrow something. Okay, so we got to make, it's got to be visible, right? You got to think about it all the time. And then of course, if it's on your plan, where else does it need to be?
On your calendar?
Yes, ma'am, good job. Right, so if I were to look at your calendar, I would know exactly what's important to you, right? And if I looked at your calendar and I saw there was a 15-minute slot at 7:30 in the morning on Thursday that you watched a financial video or read a financial book, I'd say, wow, this is a woman who is serious about her goals to build wealth. But if I looked at your calendar and didn't see anything like that, then I'd say, oh, probably not important to her. It's no judgment, but if it ain't on your calendar, it's not going to happen. Right?
Right.
What about the rest of you? What else? Did this hurt today? You okay?
It's a little painful.
Well, you know what? You can't fix it how you got to the seat you're in today. But starting today, you can make adjustments. Right. And you know, money just buys you options. Right? If I have money, I can drive there or I can fly there. Right? If I've got money, I can decide if I want to work or not work. Right? If I've got no money, I don't have a choice. But money is only good if you do good things with it. And it's bad if you do bad things with it. Okay, so I'm here to help you guys. My mission is to help you execute on your mission. And I have I'm not saying I'm some genius here, but I've spent a significant amount of time studying money. And I also have some very smart people around me to guide me and to save me time and effort. And I'm more than happy to share anything that I have learned or anything that I'm doing. And Marquia has also spent a significant amount of time learning about money and learning how to make sophisticated investments. So I appreciate you coming here. I hope that you got kind of a little taste of, kind of some of the ideas that you should have as you're kind of creating your plan. And just as a side note, again, what action are you willing to take today so that this thing gets some momentum? Okay. Because taxes are going up, inflation's going up, the cost of everything is going up, right? We got to be prepared for that. The only way we get prepared is we earn more money. Make sense? All right, guys. Have a wonderful day. See you soon.
All right, thanks a lot, Bill. Have a good one.
You too.